Okay, there we go. Okay, so welcome everybody. Thank you everyone for hopping on tonight. Very, very excited and very happy and blessed that we have our friend Robert Hollis here with us tonight. I always get so excited when I reach out and I kind of like, I'm like, would you please come? And then he's like, yes. And I'm like, I literally do like a little, like I get so excited, you know, I'm like dance around the house. And so I'm very happy to have you. I'm very grateful that you always come and meet with our team. It means a lot to me and it means a lot to them. And so thank you very much for coming and spending the night with us tonight. And typically he does not do this on Sunday night, guys. So he made an exception for us. So very grateful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And thank you so much. I appreciate you guys so much. And, you know, the topics and stuff, I'm just so proud of not only you and your team. I just think you guys are just amazing. And for those of you that are not my friends yet, make sure you send me a friend request and on Facebook. I'm sorry, send me a private message telling me to accept your friend request. I always mess up with that. So some people go, I've sent you a friend request a long time ago. You don't like me. That's not true. But what I want to share with you guys here today is just something very simple. Is that I know that a lot of you have heard goal setting, right? And you know, there was funny, I've done one of these about a year ago. And while I was doing it, this guy was saying, you look like you're really good at setting goals and achieving goals. You know what I mean? So, you know, I've been very, very, very blessed. And I want to share with you what I know will help you not only go out there and really, really, really produce. If you guys want to, you can, they're under participants, or you can actually click mute all, and then you can unmute me if you want to.
Pick me up. I just want to go somewhere and let them fly around. You know what? I mean, seriously, I don't want to do this.
There we go. Yeah, and so whenever you hear someone do that, just that's a quick way to get them, and then they usually come on and do it anyway. But hey, but one of the things is I learned from a guy quite a while ago. I don't know if the book's up here. It is. It's called The Code to the Extraordinary Mind. And what I'm going to do is just in the chat here, I'm going to share both links, and you guys can put them share them with your group. And one of the things that, you know, when you try to set goals, it's very, very difficult because a lot of people are they say, I'm looking for my passion. I'm looking for my purpose. I just don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know what will motivate me. Let me share with you exactly how to do that. It's very, very simple. And if you'll do it, you'll get success. What you'll do is you'll start falling in love with what you do. And how you fall in love with what you do, and I won't give you all the stuff to the Codex book, but the main things in it is we've all created these rules in our mind. And so when we create rules in our mind, like I don't want to contact my friends and family. I don't want to contact people that are male. I don't want to connect people that are female. The last thing I'm going to do is talk to somebody from Texas. You know, we have all these little thoughts in our mind, and there are rules. And so what a lot of people don't know is if you don't know that you have the rules, then you wonder why you won't do what you're supposed to be doing. Does that make sense to any of you? So, you know, I always run into people, and I even said it on the Saturday training. I just went, you know, when I get involved in something, it takes me no BS. It takes me less than 48 hours to contact every one of my friends and family. I'm not ashamed of what I do. I love what I do. I know that what I do can generate the kind of income where you never are a slave to anybody ever again. I know the products that we're using can really, really benefit people's lives almost in a miracle aspect. So I'm really, really super excited about that. And what a lot of people do is they don't stay excited or enthusiastic about it. So when you get up in the morning, or let me be really frank, if you don't wake up earlier than normal, because you're so damn excited to share this and change the lives of other people and your own, you gotta fix that. How many people would agree? And so I'm going to give you two things. So one of the things that the book talks about is that the whole concept of goals is just really BS. You know what I mean? Because what we do in our lives is we constantly set goals like, I want to quit my job, or I want to raise, or I want to get out of debt. And it's not exciting to us. So if it's not exciting, like the Energizer Bunny, you know what I mean? It keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. If you're not that enthusiastic or excited about, you're not going to move forward. So I say this statement all the time, is if you're not moving forward with what you're supposed to be doing, you don't have anything to look forward to. I'll say that again. If you're not moving forward in any area of your life, whether it's spiritual or relationships or mentally, you're just not excited about the outcome that you're going to get. So what I'm going to share with you is not easy, but it's mandatory. You got to learn to dream again. You got to learn to be excited as a little kid when they talk about their imaginary, or they're going to, for some of you that have children or seen children, and you tie a little cape on them, maybe it's a little towel or something. And I mean, imagination, according to Albert Einstein, is the key. The reason that things are invented, the reason that people get stuff like this done, every time that I've won an award with a company, I imagined myself on stage doing my speech when I hit one of these awards. And not only did I practice the speech, but I visualized who was there when I walked on stage, the way they said my name, what I was going to say, who was there. I want my family to be there, my in-laws to be there. And so when you can really get yourself into a frenzy and excitement, and really get into emotions of what you can visualize will happen, you will walk through walls. And let me explain that. Every one of you have already been in this situation. And if you look at your life and I ask you, how'd you get that? How'd you do that? Where'd you get that? How'd you move here? How'd you get that car? How'd you end up getting married? How did you have children? How do you get that job? Every one of you have already done this. Some of you even imagine graduating. Some of you imagine getting your driver's license. And if you could remember the excitement that you had, you know what I mean? So I always tell people I love using relationships because it works all the time. When I met my wife, where we've been together, this August 12th would be, over 35 years. When I first met her, we lived 4.5 hours away from each other. I was in Williston, North Dakota. She was here in Billings, Montana. And I could not wait to get off work Friday so I could jump in a car and drive that 4.5 hours to come see her. Do you guys know anybody like this? And if you're the person waiting, you're excited waiting for them to get there. So, I hope some of you understand what kind of excitement I'm talking about. The other one is always like when you go on vacation, right? So it's like, okay, this is when we're going to go. We're going to go on vacation. Why can't you sleep a day before? Every one of us knows that you need to get some rest. No, you're packing. My wife packs like 2 days ahead of time, right? And she's also, we get to the airport 2 hours before we're supposed to. You know what I mean? And so you're excited. It's hard for you to sleep. You set the alarm clock The airplane takes off, you know, at 6, so you got to be at the airport at 5. Who knows how long it's going to take, so we need to leave at 4, right? You know, so we're packing the night before, and, you know, you set the alarm clock, and then you wake up at 11 and you look, and you wake up at 11:30 and you look, and then you look at, do you guys know what I'm talking about? This is a kind of excitement that you got to have in your life. And when you have that kind of excitement in your life, you guys know that you pull energy out of everything. I call it ether. It's like all of a sudden it's like, well, listen, Michelle, if you don't get some sleep, you're going to be tired. I'll sleep on the airplane. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm too excited to go to sleep. Are you that way about your business? See, because some of you I know, and how do I know? You're not 5K yet. You're not 10K yet. So what made Jay and Michelle so excited? What made Ron so excited? Because see, that's what you do. You get excited not to make money. You get excited about the experiences you're going to have for you and the people that you love. And you got to visually close your eyes and visually experience those experiences. And you got to get excited about them. And when you get excited about them, there's only 2 groups of people that are on here. One group is it's okay for you to do things for yourself. Like, I would like a new dress, or I'd like a new motorcycle, or I'd like to, you know, go on this trip, or I'd like this for the house, or I'd like this. See, there's a lot of people that are okay with getting things for themselves. Then there's another group that you could get more done if you were doing it for somebody else. So what you do is you sit down with your spouse, you sit down with your children, maybe it's your mother or your father, someone that you really, 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 truly love and care about. And you say, listen, if you had a magic wand and you could just make anything happen, what would it be? And it was sort of funny because I recently watched a thing where I seen a guy sitting down with a financial advisor. And he said, did I hit it? And he goes, yeah, you did. And he goes, we should celebrate. And he goes, yeah. The next thing you seen was he was sitting down with his mom and his father. And he says, I got some great news for you. And they go, what is it? And he said, I just paid off your home. Wow. So his parents, you know, were the kind of parents that they took him to every baseball game, you know, paid for coaching, traveled to all the games, did all this stuff with him. And when he got his signing bonus, he paid off their house. So listen, what would it make you feel like to do that for someone you love? And you got to think about it. So one of the links is to the Codex. And for those of you that love to write, you know, read books, you can get it in audio as well. And then the other link is what I call, is called the 6-phase meditation. And for those of you that have never meditated, this is a walkthrough meditation. And so what you do is you just got to, for I think it's 21 minutes on a daily basis, just put the headphones on, get quiet someplace, and just follow his instructions. Just do what he tells you to do. And one part of it that tricks our mind, is you got to emotionally, you got to think about the experiences that you're going to have 3 years from today. Now, some of you are going, 3 years? Listen, if you do this properly, it'll happen sooner. I was able to get my wife to 500K in 8 months. Okay? My only goal with my wife, believe it or not, was to get her to 50K a month. Once I knew I could build a group that would create a $50,000 a month income for her, I knew that she wouldn't have to worry about money anymore. That was my first goal. What did I envision? I envisioned my wife walking up on stage, giving her 250K speech. And it happened. So I want every one of you now. It's funny for those of you that were there, that was like one of the worst little spats that me and my wife have had in probably 25 years. Because she was upset, man. I say, well, you got to go up on stage and get your award. And she says, I'm not going up there. So if you guys seen the video of her speech, it was pretty hilarious. You know what I mean? It even threw Josh off. But, that was my vision. See, I experienced, she wanted me to help her. So what I just basically did is I said, what is it going to feel like? What is it going to be like to watch, Josh or Jenna, say now the 250Ks and mention Terry Hollis and watch everybody in her team celebrate as she walked up there. And it was like right after that convention, she went 500K. And so, it's like you can make miracles happen in your life if you can mentally learn to vision experiences of your happening of stuff in the future. Does that make sense to all of you? And that's what I would say is in replace of what we call goals. So if you're not excited to call people, if you're not excited to connect with people, if you're not excited to share this business with them, if you're not, then you don't have anything to look forward to. Because when I do that, I'm able to sort like a maniac. And I say as little as possible to as many people as I can. And I might just reach out to people that I know that are already business people and just say, what could I say or do? Don, I posted that up above. You'll see the YouTube link. She asked if there was, yeah. And so what the whole concept is I just mentally just went, okay, the goal is the vision this to really think about it and really get into it as deep as you can. What is it going to smell like? What is it going to feel like? What's the room look like? You just really got to get into that mindset, because if you're not doing things every day, then you're not looking forward to anything. Like that vacation or meeting somebody or, taking your driver's test. It's all that stuff where you get you get nervous, but you're more excited than you are nervous. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, I think that vacation thing is the best one. So now I'll reach out to anybody that's a business owner and it doesn't make a difference. And I'll just say, Jay, you got a minute? You got a second? Sure. What's up? What could I say or do to get you to take a serious look at what I'm doing right now? I mean, I'm so fast and quick. And it's like, well, to be honest with you, I'm with ABC Company and I'm really not interested. And I will not say another thing to them other than, thank you very much for your time. I wish you much happiness and success. And I'm moving as much sand as I possibly can. And each grain of sand is a prospect, as someone that I'm talking to. Now, here's the problem. If you're always worried about what other people will think about you, then your vision is not strong enough. Does that make sense? Because I want you to think about this. Think of something that well, let's go back to relationships, because I think this is always pretty cool. have any one of you ever dated anybody that your family and the people that were close to you said, that is the stupidest move I have ever thought? Why are you all shaking your head? You're like, well, I be honest with you, I'm still with them. You know what I mean? It's like, so why is it that when you imagined a relationship with this individual, that the people that were closest to you said, you know, Danielle, no, this ain't the person. And you went, listen, you don't know them? Shut up. Why can you be that strong when you're that serious? See, that's the way you should be about the business. Does that make sense to you guys? When you're not looking forward and you're not thinking about those experiences, then anything can knock you out of the box. I mean, anything. And they're little silly things. It's like, well, you know, CBD is everywhere. Oh my God, I guess I'm gonna quit. It's like, no. The other thing for me was my driver's license. I was so excited to get my driver's license because I already had a car before I got my driver's license. So I couldn't wait to drive. And so if someone came up to me and said, wait a minute, you know, you're not smart enough to get a driver's license. You don't want to know the kind of words that would have came out of my mouth. And if you see that, little things will throw you off. Or, you know, if you've seen some of my other trainings, you know, all the little voices in your mind, you know, Dino, you know, what are they going to say? What if they turn me down? What if they call me a spammer? See, my visions for what I want in my life are so large and they mean so much to me. I can put myself into a vision state, vision, V-I-S-I-O-N, vision inspires success in others now. And for those of you that don't know my personal story, I grew up in foster homes. And so I support thousands of orphans. Every time I say that, it chokes me up. But I support thousands of orphans. And there isn't anything that anyone you know could say to me to get me to stop taking care of them. Nothing. If you guys called me up tomorrow and said, you know, I heard that, you know, that MDC and Josh and Jenna are going to file bankruptcy. I was like, what does that have to do with me? It has nothing to do with me. I was looking for a business when I found this one. See, these are vehicles to my goals. Did you guys get that? So if I'm going to show up, and I'm going to show up in Vegas in October, if I have to walk, I'm walking. A bicycle will probably be better than walking. I might hitchhike. I'll take a bus. I'll take a train. I'll carpool with somebody. I'll take a plane, but my butt's going to be there. Did you guys catch that? So when I want to make something happen in my life, it's just like, I just know I got to go through a lot of people. So let me just touch on one thing. The only thing that would stop me from doing this is I believe that we all have to have a level of belief, right? So I rarely have ever met someone that their production or their income or their success didn't match their personal development. You see what I mean? So when I first got in, there was stuff that I didn't know how to do. So I had to learn the stuff that I needed to do. But what I thought was unique about me is I only wanted to learn and practice and get great at just the things that made me money, just the things that got me results. And seeing with MDC, you want to be able to master the ability with excitement and enthusiasm and a little bit of curiosity to get these people to take a free tour. A free tour or a free sample. A free tour or a free sample. And here's the thing that I know. I don't know if you guys know this yet, but there's a lot of people that are not at the right time and in the right place. And I just know that the cost of what I'm getting is going to be worth going through, don't freak out here, thousands of people. You know what I mean? So I'm willing to go through as many people as I possibly can to find another Michelle. Because here's the thing I know. There's people in this company that are making a good income. I also know the product works. I also know the compensation plan pays. So the belief that I have to have is whether or not this product works, and if it does work, is the company going to ship it? Yeah. People pay, they ship it. If it works, do they pay people for hooking up affiliates and customers? They do. So now here's the thing that you have to get over. For a lot of you that are on here, you know, the company pays Michelle and Jay maybe a little more a month than they pay you. All right? And the company also pays me, or should I say my wife, they pay my wife a lot more than they pay Michelle and Jay. See, I find that incredibly amazing that a person in this day and age, not based on who you are, male, female, what age you are, what religion you are, what your sexual gender is, what your education is. You know, did any one of you have to fill out a credit report before you became an affiliate? So just like Jim Rohn has said, every one of you can make exactly what Michelle or Jay makes. Every one of you can make exactly what Ron Deering makes. Every one of you can make exactly what Terry makes. So you only have to have a couple of things. One is, why in the hell am I doing this? See, if that's not exciting to you, like the Energizer Bunny, then you're not going to keep going and going and going and going and going. That might be a neat invention. I think we could just get some Energizer batteries and just plug them in your guys' backs. And you're like, oh my God, I'm now 25K. I'm now 50K. I'm now 100K. Pretty simple, isn't it? That's why this business is so fun to me, because it is that simple. So when I got in the company, all my goal was, all day, every day, is to go through as many people as I possibly could, coming up with things to get them excited to take a tour and watch Josh's video. That was it. So I think Terry now has, I think it's like 591 personal affiliates and customers. That's pretty good, isn't it? Michelle and Jay, how many do you have?
I don't really know off the top of my head, but not that many.
Well, and you guys know that you can click on team, right? And click enrollment tree, and then it'll bring it up right at the top there.
You want me to do that?
Yeah, while I continue to teach. Hi, Debbie.
Okay.
Hi, Yolanda. Hi, Tammy. So I'm looking at some of the. Hi, Carlos. How are you? Robin, Tanya, David. And I hope that Jesse, I see you're on here. Thank you. Mindy, Mike Jones, Christy. See quite a few people on here. Hi, Kim, Megan. So I hope that you guys are getting this because, you know, a lot of people always, to me, you try to find out, there's always trying to, and here's what I like you to stop. I was trying to think, okay, what do I teach next? What you got to stop doing is thinking. I wonder what to say. I wonder who to contact. You know, how many of you know that you just overthink everything? And that's what we do. It's like, you know, Tammy can reach out to me and say, you know, Robert, a friend of mine knows a person that they went to high school with, and they actually own a florist. What do you say to that person? Oh my God, the same thing I say to everyone. But don't we do that all the time? It's like, oh my God, you know, what do you say to this person? What do you say to this person? See, I know this will throw some of you off, but the least you think, the more that you act. Hi, Lily. You know, you just really, really, really got to get that. Because if you just knew, like, oh my God, what am I gonna pack on this vacation? You can think about it all day, but what you got to do is grab a suitcase and open it up and start pulling open drawers and pulling out the closet and going, yes, no, no, no. Now I need to put that back. I sure in the hell ain't taking that. And, you know, I don't know if Jay and the other guys that are watching here is the same as me, but, you know, and for 57 years, I can still put everything in a backpack. It's pretty hilarious. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, we're going to be there for 4 days. I think you need an extra pair of underwear. And then it's like, well, you know, I'll get them when I get there. You know, I'll buy. They don't sell underwear at the hotel, but there's got to be something there. So you'll notice that, you know, sometimes people don't think as much. And I'll tell you how not to think. Is get more emotionally attached to the vision and the experience you want to create. Right? So go back to the relationship thing I talked about. If you just knew that you wanted to be with someone this weekend, it just happens. And you actually do less thinking. So if I said, hey, Yolanda, I just happen to be in your city. If you don't mind, I'd like to be able to, you know, take you out for dinner. And it's like, well, what do you like to eat? I don't care. What do you like to eat? Isn't that funny? When you don't spend all this stupid stuff thinking, if my only goal was to have dinner with Yolanda, then you can make decisions very fast. You don't have to think. Let's just go here. Well, I don't care. We can go to McDonald's. I don't care. I just want to spend time with you, get to know you, find out how I can help you. It doesn't make a difference where we're at. But when you don't have the goal or the vision of the experience, then you spend all your time thinking. So here's another one. If the thought that you have, if any, if you're thinking, is what do I need to say? How do I have to act if? And how would I feel if? So if you're trying to get someone to do something, that's why I don't do a lot of scripts. Because I'm always looking for something in their profile. I'm always looking for something that I want them to know that I care. My number one goal is to connect with another human being and to give them free stuff that my mentors have given me. And if they're at the right place at the right time, it'll alter and change their entire life. Did you guys get that? When it was funny because now that Bob Proctor is speaking at our event, one of the things that people did is I all of a sudden had all these people send me this thing because they started looking up Bob Proctor. And then all of a sudden, Bob Proctor's got this video saying, you know what? Well, 57 years ago, to think that the guy has been doing personal development as long as I've been alive. That's pretty interesting, right? Which, by the way, I've been to Bob Proctor's programs 4 or 5 times. And that was 28 years ago. So 28 years ago is when I was looking for people like Bob Proctor. And so he did this video and he says, listen, let me talk to you about a book. I met a guy and he told me that if I read this book and studied this book, The Science of Getting Rich, my whole life would change. Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. And if you listen to the video that Bob Proctor says, he goes, I was no longer interested in what he did to make money and become successful because he told me he got all the secrets out of the book. What's hilarious is last October when I got to speak on the stage, I told people if they went to roberthollis.com that I would give them the book and the audios for free. When the student's ready, the teacher appears. Because that book altered and changed my life. So it's like, okay, so how many times have you gone through The Secret? How many times have you listened to it? How many times have you listened to a video that I'd give you for free talking about every chapter of that book? Oh, yeah, I haven't done that yet. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that you're really not ready to make a massive change in your life. Some people struggle and suffer forever. I used to. I ain't doing it anymore. So when someone said, listen, if you did this, your life would change. Because in every chapter of this book, there's these little things that make you think. And once you get them, you can't forget them. So one of them is like, how many of you have sort of figured out, because you've done a lot of thinking at this, that maybe you're just not meant to have money? I'm not worthy. I don't deserve it. I'm not enough. So as soon as you read the first chapter and it says you have the right to be rich, does that sort of mess with your psychology already? And it really drives deep. Do you guys know that there's people that have graduated from your high school that are millionaires? You just don't know who they are. So you'll find people your age, male, female, your spiritual background, from your city. Every excuse that you say that you can't do this is eliminated if I can find someone that's like you that's already successful. And I think that all of you understand that I'm just not talking about money, right? Rich means a lot. Could you have a rich relationship, a rich spiritual life, a rich family life? You see what I mean? And so you got to get the thoughts out that it's for everybody else and it's not for you. Because as soon as you can get that in your head and you go, I'll give you guys a good one. Do you guys know who Phil Jackson is? Phil Jackson is one of the very best basketball coaches, or just coaches, period, that's ever been there. He only taught people like Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, just to name a few. He graduated from my high school. Wow. So I guess you can grow up in Williston, North Dakota, and be a pretty good coach. You guys see what I'm saying? And so what you got to do is you get rid of all your excuses by listening to philosophies of other people. Why Oprah has such a large influence of people is because if you get to know her story, you sort of gloss your excuses. You know what I mean? Parents got rid of her, raised by her grandma, got raped at an early age, had a child, it was stillborn, was abused. It was like a minority, a female. Are you guys getting me? Overweight. It's like, crap. You know? How did she do it? And other people didn't. Because another chapter in this book talks about the only way you're going to change your mindset is by learning to do something to change your mindset. So if you don't listen to this audio or one like it, every morning, 21 minutes every morning, when I found out about this stuff, I listened to it 3 times a day. I'm going, there's 24 hours in a day. I'm so broke I can't pay attention. And they say that you need to listen and meditate for 20 minutes a day. I'm going to do 60. I can at least do it 3 times a day. I can dedicate 1 hour a day to getting my stinking thinking fixed. Because up to that time, I spent 26 years messing up my thinking, hanging around the wrong people, a professional, beating myself up. I actually said all the time, well, you don't understand. I was diagnosed as being dyslexic, and I have a learning disability. I can't read and I can't spell. So for that reason, I'm never going to be smart. And smart, you got to be smart to get an education because without an education and a degree, then you're not going to get a good job and you're not going to make a lot of money. So I already had basically told myself that if I was going to support me and a family, that I was going to do it with my hands, and that's why I became a mechanic. You know, all those professional jobs wasn't for me because I wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. Then all of a sudden I read a book like this and it talks about, oh, it's easy to make money. It's easy to be successful. Well, what do you mean? Well, because no one else is trying. And I go, what? How many entrepreneurs do you know? My boss. Isn't that crazy? It's like, how much time do you spend around other people that are successful? I don't. Why? Well, why would they want to hang around with me? I'm stupid and unmotivated. I'm lazy. I beat myself up. Why would they want to hang around me? Well, they'd want to hang around with you if you stopped doing that garbage. Because people that are entrepreneurs love coaching other people to get there. What's the use of getting to where I am today if I'm not going to teach you how to get there? What a waste of time. That's what my calling is. So then I go, okay. All right. So what do I got to do to be an entrepreneur? Oh, all you got to do is find a need and fill it. What? Everybody needs something. Find out what a lot of people need and find a way to get it to them. Everyone I know needs money. What if you could show them how to make money? It doesn't have to be a lot. Do you know that right now 90% of the people in America don't have an extra $300 in a savings account for emergency needs? How many people in America don't have health insurance? Why don't they have health insurance? Only one reason. I can't afford it. What if my goal was to take Danielle and Tammy and Yolanda and just show them how to make an extra $1,500 or $2,500 a month so they can afford health insurance for them and their family? Get them a little bit of peace of mind. Are you guys looking at this a little different than you did before? See, what you do is you start thinking, I gotta try to sell CBD. No, that's not what I do. I look for people, and I did a post about it today. I ask people what they need in their lives, and then I show them how to frickin' get it. So I would simply say, Danielle, listen, if there's anything that you could have in your life right now, what would it be? You could have anything. Yeah, you could unmute and tell me.
I was totally looking for the button. I would say an extra $5,000 to speed along the process of buying my house.
Okay, so you need an extra $5,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you believe that people in MDC have made $5,000?
Absolutely.
So how do you think they did it?
Not the way I've been trying, which is overthinking things.
Yeah, but you used a really, really bad word there. You swore.
Oh,
you said the word try.
I said try. Oh, I did it again.
That's
do.
Okay.
They just do.
Yeah. So what you do is you go, wow, I know people need this, and I know people need to be affiliates and make extra money. I just need to find other Danielles. They're out there. But what I believe the universe does, or if you believe in a creator like God, it's like you just got to move a little bit of dirt to find the diamonds and the gold. It would be cool if they were just laying on top, but they're not. See, what we do is easy. It's not difficult. It's just time consuming. And the reason that it takes time is we got to get over our own thoughts to go out and go, you know what, I really truly believe that there's other Michelles out there, there's other Carloses out there, there's other Rons out there, there's other Terrys, there's other Roberts. They're out there. So what could I say different to people? And believe it or not, that was the $1 million question. So then I'd call up Danielle and I'll say, hey, Danielle, you got a second? Sure, what's up? Listen, it's really important for me that I got some serious things I need to take care of for my home. And I need my home. And so I'm helping a company expand right now. And it's in an industry that's growing like crazy. It's on all the news and everything. Do you know of anybody right now that would like to really make some serious money? What is this? Why are you interested? Well, I could be. If you told me, listen, I'm learning from people that make millions of dollars, and I'm listening to them. If you will take a free tour and watch a video of a 28-year-old kid that made $100 million in his fourth year in business, he'll answer all your questions. Once you watch that video, I know you're going to think of somebody that you can refer me to. And see, do you guys realize that we do this in everything else in life but business? So, Danielle, I want to ask you a question. You can unmute.
Okay.
I'm thinking right now of doing some landscaping on my home. Are you a good landscaper, Danielle?
Actually, kind of, yeah.
Are you? Well, I'm going to pay someone a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I can show you what I need done, and you can either A, do it, and I'll pay you, Or what you could do is if you'll find people for me, I don't know what you would have them do it for, but you could tell me and then add some, and then you would make some money by just making sure that the business was done. Would you be willing to do that for me?
Yes.
See, when we deal with anything else, we either know how to do it or we don't know how to do it. And it's funny how fast we'll refer people. I need my house painted. Danielle, do you know any painters?
My dad.
You see how fast we do that? But then, you know, the voices start talking to us. And you're going, well, I need to reach out to someone and ask them if they know anyone that could help us expand this business. Yeah, I couldn't do that. That's all I do all day, you guys. All day long, I connect with people and say, hey, listen, you ever heard of The Secret? No, I haven't heard of The Secret. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. Rhonda Byrne, you know, she read this book, created the movie The Secret, made over $300 million, was on the Ellen Show, was on the Larry King Show, was on the Oprah Show. It's amazing. And do you know the whole book? I mean, the whole movie, The Secret, was inspired by her reading one book that her daughter gave her? No, I didn't know that. Listen, I got some great news for you, Danielle. The book was written in 1910. So it's over 100 years old. It inspired the book Think and Grow Rich. And because it's over 100 years old, I can send you links so you can get the book and the audios for free. Oh my God. Thank you. I read the book and it changed my whole life. Man, that's so nice. Well, multimillionaire shared it with me. Why wouldn't I share it with you? Robert, that's really nice. Thank you very much. Yeah, just share it with people. I think that everyone should read this book. I think it should have been in school. Robert, man, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Hey, listen, Danielle. Yeah. Could I ask you to do a favor for me? What? I'm expanding a company right now, and I'm looking for people to help me expand my business. If I just gave Danielle a gift, what's the chances of her trying to help me out? I only need you to do one thing. I'd like to send you a link. You take a free tour. Watch this kid that just won the Bravo Award for being the fastest growing company of his kind. Can you imagine if you got a chance to see Mark Zuckerberg pitch Facebook in his 4th year in business? Would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? I really truly believe that this is going to be that big. So once you watch the video, it may or may not be for you, Danielle, but I know one thing. You're going to feel excited about referring me to some people. Danielle, out of everything that I just shared with you right now, do you think you could do this?
Yes.
And if you got serious like I did, if you didn't watch the video that I have in Vision Team called Massive Action, see, I know that the key to this business in every business is a thing called momentum. So if I talk to one person a day, I might not get momentum. If you were about ready to be evicted out of your home and you needed that $5,000, I bet you would reach out to more than one person to ask to borrow it from. See, I'd be reaching out to not one person for $5,000. I'd be reaching out to 5 people for $1,000, or 10 people for 500, or 20 people for what? See what I mean? It's like, I'm going to get this money. I'm not getting kicked out of my damn home. I'd be selling stuff. I'd be like a maniac. I wouldn't get kicked out of my home. So see, you have the ability, and everyone that's listening to this, I could do the same thing I'm doing with Danielle with you. Now, guess what? Now you got to go out and build that momentum. You got to go out there and just say, all right, tell your husbands, tell your spouses, tell your children, tell everyone, listen, I got a quest to take care of, and I got to build this momentum. Because once I build this momentum and I talk to enough people, I'm done. And that's what my mentor said to me 32 years ago. He said, Robert, listen, if you, and I'll use our language instead of his, he says, Robert, if you can get 2,000 people to pre-enroll and watch Josh's video, you'll never worry about money ever, ever, ever again. So I've helped my wife for 16 months. Do you know I still haven't hit that 2,000 number? But my wife made over 730,000. Interesting, huh? So 32 years ago, my mentor said, Robert, if you can put 72 people in front of an effective presentation in the next 30 days, he said, you'll never have to worry about money again. I put 72 people, got them to watch that video because I said how enthusiastic I was that they needed to look at it because they needed to refer people to me. Why would they do this for me? Well, because I connected with them and gave them reciprocity by introducing them to something that they didn't know existed. And so my first 45 days, 32 years ago, I made over $10,000, $10,210. Because of the momentum I created, I taught those people to do the same thing. I made $258,000 my first year. Then 520 the next year, over 700,000 the next year, made $1 million before I was 30. Because I do the same thing as I did then as I do today. Pretty good, huh? So the weird thing about this business is that, you know, God, our creator, didn't put numbers on people's foreheads. You know, so there's a scale of 1 to 10. So I got to look at Yolanda and Tammy and all the other people that are on here, and I don't know what your number is. You see what I mean? So that's why I got to talk to a lot of people. See, it would be easier for us if God would just put numbers on people's heads, and then I would go, all right, this is not for you. And then it's like, oh my God, Mike's a 10. You know what I mean? Mike, you got to look at this. See, that would make it easy. But it's almost as easy, just not that difficult. So we got to go through a lot of people as fast, as quick as we can. And so you build a little bit of momentum. Once you do that, all you got to do is have one Michelle and one Jay, and one leg and the other leg, and you're done. Jay, Michelle, close to what, 50K? So 50K in volume. If you had one Michelle and Jay on one side and not the other, what's 15% of 50K? Well, first of all, you'd be 100K because you'd have a 50K and a 50K, right? So the residual that you'd make off 50K would be 5,000 plus 25. That'd be $7,500 a month. Danielle, how's that? Because someone sponsored Michelle. Should have been you. Thank you, Danielle, for letting me. You were a great sport.
I appreciate that a lot. You don't know your timing is kind of like spot on there with that. So thank you.
Good. Okay, Michelle and Jay, back to you. I hope I did okay.
Good.
Yes, you did wonderful. And I have to tell you, you were spot on tonight with so many things. And I wrote down a couple of notes because I just had to touch on, and you were spot on with Danielle. We call her Dean. You were spot on with us in so many things. I was trying to jot notes down as you went. But one thing I'm going to tell you real quick, before we started with HempWorks, I'm a court reporter. That's my profession. And I was out taking a case one day, and I was walking past the table, and I saw a couple of books. and The Science of Getting Rich was there. I had never seen it, never heard of that book. I don't know what prompted me to pick it up and take it, but I took the book. I'm like, I feel like I need to read this book. And I came home and I read it, and I took notes and on stickies, and I stuck them on my bathroom mirror, and I stuck them in my office, and I stuck them everywhere. And I couldn't believe how that book kept coming up as soon as I joined. We joined Hempworks. And the other thing that I wanted to say was this: when we first joined, and we had excitement like that was just out of control. It really was like through the roof. And so, we dove in and we started watching your trainings that were in the Vision group. And we were just, watching things. And I sat at my kitchen table one day and I watched a 2.5-hour training that you had done with my eyes glued to that screen. And the only time I stopped the video was to write down the book, The Greatest Miracle in the World, because you said, you have to have this book. And I went, pause, and I ordered it right there. And after I watched that 2.5 hours, I went back and watched it for a second time. I spent my entire day in front of your training that day, and I took about 4 or 5 pages of notes, like a man, all over my transcript that I was working off of my court reporting. And I wrote down notes everywhere that I could. I just grabbed another paper and wrote it down. And the reason why I say that is because I was so excited, so motivated when I listened to you talk. It made me so badly want to run with you. Like it was
Awesome.
it was all I could think about was being in your company. And so to this day, every time I reach out to you and I ask you a question and you answer me and then I ask you to come to our training and you say yes with enthusiasm, it excites me more than I can tell you. So
Wow.
that's something that I hope that everybody on this team appreciates, because we are so very fortunate to have him come and do this. I've never been in a company before where the CEO or the president or the whoever, came and taught me, like this. Anytime that I asked, hey, can you teach me how to do this and better myself and grow? And you just don't get that. So I know I get very excited every time Robert tells us that he's going to come. It means
I get excited too. I really get excited. I know the goals of not only the company, but the goals that I want to do with Terry's position is Michelle, you and Jay need to be master affiliates for my dream to come true. That means that the people that are watching this, you need to be 500Ks. You need to be, and I tell people all the time, they go, oh my God, I don't need that kind of money. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do, because there's a lot of people that you can help.
Yeah.
You will, I promise, you will go from dependent on somebody to independent, and the next level of awareness is interdependence. Interdependence is when all day, every day, you're thinking on how to serve another person. That's joy. That's fulfillment. That's the highest level of awareness. So, when some people wrote that it's more of a joy to give than receive, that's where everyone needs to be. So, Michelle, thank you for sharing that, man. That just really made me light up. I love you guys. I think you guys are so cool. I just, you're always doing this for your team. And I hope they got a lot out of this.
I'm sure they did. I know just from knowing our team and knowing what's going on in some of the lives and the things that you said, I just know how much you touched them. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Very cool. Thank you very much. So I love you guys. Go have dinner with my wife and family, but you guys deserve me to have me here tonight. You guys got to thank Michelle and Jay for inviting me. I really appreciate you guys. Don't forget, you can do this. If not a mechanic from North Dakota can do this, you can do this easy, no problem. Which, by the way, that's why I don't do scripts, because it's hard for me to read or write or spell. So that's why I had to learn to communicate and connect instead of doing scripts.
Oh, thank you so much, Robert. Really, we very much appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Love you guys. Good night. Have a great day.
Good
Thanks,
night.
Robert.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Hope to see some of you at the convention. Bye-bye.
Yes.
Thank you, Robert. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Jay, Michelle.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Thank you, Robert. Very good.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Puko.
for coming. And anybody who's not set to go to convention yet, rethink that. Get to convention. We will see you
Good
guys.
night, Robert.